This is probably the largest machine ever built on this earth of ours. I don't know of any other continuous group of ruins on earth that cover this size that we can see today. We're sitting in it and we know where this connects to, and we know how far it goes that way and that way and that way, and then we lose it, but we then pick it up another 100 kilometers on the other side. So we know that this is a huge cluster, a network of ruins that goes on for thousands of kilometers. Basically from where we are south to KwaZulu-Natal, all the way to the Eastern Cape, not so much, but across into the Free State in South Africa, then north through what was, Northwest Province, Gauteng, Mpumalanga, Limpopo, all the way into Zimbabwe. We're talking about 2,000 kilometers.
All the way west of Botswana.
Yeah, and west of Botswana as well. It's just huge.
Yes, this is Dombo Shower. Welcome to Dombo Shower in Botswana. Welcome to Dombo Shower in Botswana. And this is a very important historical site for the Kalanka people in Botswana and in Zimbabwe. So the history of Zimbabwe is not complete without Dombo Shower in Botswana. The history of Botswana is not complete without the history of Dombo Shower. So the two countries have this connection to this place. And so many Zimbabweans would love to come in here and reconnect with their ancestors. This is their...
Farming land. It's the biggest intensive farming site anywhere in southern or eastern Africa.
These settlements were spread from Lydenburg to Carolina and Mpumalanga province, but historians only took notice of them much later from when they were discovered.
They were noticed, from the 19th century onwards, but academics and researchers really started to take them seriously from about 1918 onwards, when the first studies were done. Some work was done in the 30s, but they were by and large neglected until the 1950s and 60s, when archaeologists started to do some quite intensive research on them, and established at that point that these were the remnants of African societies that had lived in the area and whose descendants to some extent still lived in the area.
Huge controversy raged as to who built these sites.
But at the same time as you had this academic tradition of research, you had a kind of alternative popular version of research, which took its premise that these were not built by Africans. They couldn't possibly be built by Africans because they were stone-walled. And the mythology of the time in those sections of society was that Africans didn't build in stone. They lived in unchanging tribal communities, and that they were ineffective farmers. None of these notions actually fits the Bokoni sites, but nonetheless became a very powerful view of them.
The Bokoni were a peaceful society, but war was looming all around them.
What happens in South Africa in the late 18th and early 19th century is you have the development of powerful raiding states, which are much more highly militarized than the Khoni were. Perhaps the best known of those is the Zulu kingdom. Now, those states were designed, much more effectively designed for military purposes. They had highly organized regiments. They raided over long distances. Some of those states moved through this area, and they attacked the Khoni communities. They took their grain, they took their cattle, and they seized large numbers of women and children, which were then incorporated into these other societies.
The Bokoni had to flee because of their densely populated settlements that were rich in food, but they did leave something incredible.
Which means the birthplace of the sun. Now,
From the aerial shot of this place, you can see that this place is a circle. Actually, this circle, circle here, to the rocks themselves. This is what we call dolerite. Whereas the rocks that you see on the edge of the cliff are black reef quartzite, which is the bedrock of Kapsewop. So basically, geologically speaking, was Kapsewop is sitting on a black reef quartzite, which makes this foreign to this area, or this dolerite foreign to this area. And we started scouting for a natural dolerite page as to where this might have been taken out from. We found it 1.5 kilometers outside of the reserve. So we assumed that whoever built the structures harvested the rocks from there, and he brought them here, and then started carving shapes like the stone man to build this. And dolerite is the third hardest rock after diamond and granite. You get diamond, you get granite, then you get the dolerite.
Devices on our landscapes. Yes. This type of rock here is the one that you find everywhere across the world. The Stonehenge of England is actually built by this rock, constructed by using this plutonic gabbro. It's dolerite, is the third hardest rock from diamond and then granite, and then you get this one here. And you can feel the sound resonating.
And then the other ones?
Yes, and you see that this is much more denser, but you see if you loosen it up, you find that it has got an iron sound, like it is full of iron. But inside the rock, we've got what we call holocrystallite elements, which are all these different types of elements that are embodied inside the rock. But the major one, which is very important, is microsilica, which makes the rock itself to start to vibrate and collect sound and energy and create resonance. That is where the secret of this rock lies, why it was used to create amplification devices on our landscapes. Yes.